If we want to understand the problems of the young people, we must have the young people, the real young people, sitting on those tables and discussing the issues that are affecting the young people. Let young people unite, come together. In 2027, we cannot change anything from the streets. These people will still gang up and send police officers and the army to beat us on the streets. Let us get elected. Let us support one of our own to get elected. When we have, we have 290, MPs elected, if we can have around 100 young MPs elected to parliament, then we have a voice. Even when
the marriage between UDA and ODM is bearing a favorable fruit to Kenyans, or was it a mistake and a fumble made by Raila Odinga?
I would say, without fear of favor.
Dango Reelers, welcome back to Real Talk Republic podcast. And of course, this is our ego. 14 supu, 14 bora is not just a word for entertainment. It's all about the talks of 2027 election. Youths and Gen Zs getting ready for the 2027 election. 2-term, 1-term. And we don't know how the expenses are about this election. Besides, kulikuwa na ile rule in Tanzania wali pass on trade treaties in the amongst the foreigners. Today discussed the previous episodes, but that was from our opinion. Now today, I'm being engaged by political analyst Jacob Omondi. Karibu Jacob to Real Talk Republic podcast, Baba.
Thank you.
Unaweza tuambia tu audience sauti yako and what you stand for the people of the Republic of Kenya.
Okay, I'm Jacob Omondi. Nimezaliwa huko maeneo ya Kabondo, Kasipul. Mimi ni mwanasiasa. Na ni kijana ambaye anaangalia kuwania kiti ikifika 2027.
Ikifika 2027 in the city,
in my rural home.
In rural home. There is a lot of competition in your rural home. Which position are you eyeing for?
Not yet decided, but I think
by 2027
I'll run for the MP.
Bro, there was, I don't know whether ulisikia the statement that was made by Langata 1, as he calls himself, MP Jalango. He says an election for presidency is expensive. And he went ahead, not only Jalango, there was also this former comedian, MC Jasi, who failed to clinch that position, who said he regrets joining politics. He says it's expensive. I mean, it was from their point of view, but I was looking forward to having somebody who have a clue on this one. How expensive is it?
Of course, politics is expensive, but I would love to tell the young people that, we have to get out there. We have to participate because politicians make decisions on our behalf, and therefore we have to be on that decision-making table so that we can ensure that the policies that are passed in this country are policies that also align with what we really think we want and the direction we want this country to take. You understand that the other time we had Gen Z's movement, demonstrations, and we were demonstrating against some government actions. And we don't want to demonstrate after 2027. We want to be on those tables where decisions are made so that we can shape the future of this country together.
That's good. You want to be in the table to shape the decision of this country together.
Sure.
In my previous episode with one ODM insider, that is Marende Victor, as the Jeshi la Baba, they said they came along with NADCO. And in NADCO, there were decisions of the youths. You remember that guy who said, from Kasipula Gaze, who talks about the shall of the Constitution, the shall words in the Constitution regarding his intention or the points that he was laying in for the NADCO. And all these points were laid off. It never ripped. Do you think we have a voice to talk about this one? Who is the best channel that we can schedule our points towards? Because we have a lot of options, but we are not trusting the option. That's the factor that is facing youths.
My opinion, I think that we, the young people, we are not coming together and realizing our strength to help shape the direction that this country takes. I can tell you, even as we mentioned, you mentioned the NADCO report. Who are these people who are nominated, who came up with the NADCO report? Basically, there was no youth among the committee members who are sitting at Bomas of Kenya to draft the NADCO report. And therefore, you can be maybe 80% sure that they did not understand the problems of the young people. If we want to understand the problems of the young people, we must have the young people, the real young people, sitting on those tables and discussing the issues that are affecting the young people. Some senior citizens cannot sit somewhere and nominate their colleagues or their friends to a committee, and then that committee comes up with a report, and then they claim that report now entails the needs of the young people.
Yeah.
I can tell you for sure that if us as the young people, we cannot join hands together and ensure that most of us, or many of us, because we are 70%, we are 70% of the total registered voters in this country. If we cannot combine our forces and say that in this particular seat, in this particular seat, in this particular seat, we want to see the young people being elected, getting elected to these offices or these houses of parliament, where decisions, where laws and legislative works are done, policies are made, then we are not going to help ourselves. Because let me tell you, for example, where I come from, Homa Bay, the average age of MPs is 60 years. The average MP age. Look at Adipo Kume from Karachwe. Look at my MP Ivo Bara. Look at Lilian Gogo. Look at Millie Odhiambo. People have served for 4 terms,
but they
3
say,
terms,
they
8
say, you know
terms.
why they say
see?
why the number is so low, especially for the youth in at the constituency levels, is they are saying that youths, after getting elected to the parliament or different position, they forget about their pledges.
Who is this youth that was elected to parliament and forgot about the young people? Because right now, in other places, we have Kiborek, MP for Mogotio, a very young person. I can see he's doing very good work in parliament. We have, for example, Babu Owino, relatively young. He's not as old as the ones that comes from my background. And he's doing his work very well. He's energetic. He's able to be in parliament. He's able to be in court representing young people who are charged with some trumped up charges of terrorism. We can see he's moving as a young person. But what about where I come from? What about where you come from? The average age of leaders in CI is 70 years and above. When you bring all of them, elected leaders together, I'm talking about MPs and above. When you bring all of their ages and you divide by the number, you get average ages.
When you're finding the mean, when you're finding the when mean. You can do. I mean, you are talking about NADCO report and the inclusion of the youths in the report, and there was these. Now talking about these. Committees that were brought, they say ODM and UDSAs have brought peace in the Kenyan government, that is NADCO, and then 10 points agendas and so on. There is this. What's your take on the committee nomination members, where we included Oguda is a young Kenyan, and you can see from the members appointed, most of them were youths. I think the government.
Most of them, who is another youth. Oguda is relatively young. Who again is a youth there. All the rest are cronies. They are same faces who have been there in the political circles before.
Kevin Kiaria is a youth.
No. Let us be sensible. I wish I could see somebody like, in the composition of that committee, I would see somebody like, Fred Makajos. Yeah, in that committee. I would see somebody like Marende, whom you hosted here the other time, in that committee. I would see somebody like the former University of Nairobi student, Manyara, in that committee. Those are youths. Or Angel Boothia, or somebody, or Pauline Njoroge. Those are youths. When I see such faces, or Charlene Ruto, or I want to see faces of the young people. People who can...
From bipartisan level, with not your stance.
Yes.
I know you are an independent candidate right now, and you are a political analyst at this particular point. What's the reason why you can't see these people that are being mentioned, that you're mentioning? What's the factor? What's the reason why?
You see, for a very long time, my brother, the old guards, I call them the old guards, they've always find it convenient to use youth, the young people, to agitate for a particular cause. But once people are called on the table to now discuss, then they say now the work of the youth is now done. Now let us go to the table and discuss. And then they discuss amongst themselves on how to share whatever is there for them to share. And that is why I'm saying, let young people unite, come together. In 2027, we cannot change anything from the streets. These people will still gang up and send police officers and the army to beat us on the streets. Let us get elected. Let us support one of our own to get elected. When we have, we have 290, MPs elected, if we can have around 100 young MPs elected to parliament, then we have a voice. Even when some of us are demonstrating on the street, then we have others who can represent us and can vote for us within the houses of parliament. When the issues are being made, we have representatives who understand what we are going through, what we are passing through. Do you know, when you tell somebody, like the other time, 2, 3, 4 years ago when Uhuru had not left power, I remember a journalist asking the former president, that how much is a bread, a loaf of bread?
Yeah.
Then he says 500 shillings. That is the head of state. That tells you that this man, since he was born today, to that day,
What are
he
the
had
criteria?
never...
What are the criteria that can improve the number of youth representation in both houses, that is county assembly
First
and
of all,
national assembly?
we must demand from the political parties that youth should not pay more than 20,000 for nomination fee in whatever position that they are vying for, because a young person who is jobless cannot afford to get 125,000 to pay for the nomination as a nomination fee for the position of member of parliament.
I don't know much about the party politics and payment, but I need to get to know much about it, because maybe one of our audience is a candidate and you don't know the criteria or how party politics works. How much does it cost from before the primaries? Does it cost just for submitting your documents for, let's say you want to become an MP?
Yes.
And let's use your party.
Yes.
Estimation, how much does it cost?
Probably without doing so much, you must have something like 1 million shillings.
1 million just for
you
submission?
Not because
Before the primaries.
you cannot submit before you get yourself known to the constituents where you want to run. And when you are getting yourself known, you are familiarizing yourself, you have to meet people. And meeting people is also expense.
I'm saying just submitting your details.
Submitting, you have to have around 150. For a member of parliament, 150,000. Yeah.
For all parties, you're talking from major political parties.
I'm talking from a point of a party that I've belonged to. A party called ODM.
That is
ODM for a nomination for a member of parliament, for the position of a member of parliament, as a youth, it is 125,000.
Non-refundable?
Non-refundable.
Tango.
Yeah. For you to participate in that nomination, it is 125,000. So it means the 25,000 that I'm adding up on top there is for preparation of your documents, movement, on how you get to gather all those documents together, the certificate of good conduct, what, that many of the young people maybe don't have. So for you to run, to compete in a nomination as a member of parliament, you have to pay 125,000 for nomination fee.
Do you think it's possible for youth to get elected without parties? Let's do away with parties and just get independent. Is it possible?
I will not advocate for a young person to run outside a political party, because there must be. It is easy to run within a formation of a political party. Yeah, and political parties have different ideologies.
Yes.
So a youth can always find a way of looking at these political parties that are available. Then you see that which your ideology aligns with. Then you can choose to run on that particular political party. But if the worst, because the process of running as an independent is also tiresome. You have to collect signatures. You have to they have to be verified by the IBC and so on and so on and so on. So that process of collection of signatures and
1,000
verification, it's also you have to use resources on that. So I think I would advise any young person that it is much better to run for an elective seat through a political formation than to run as an independent.
In 2022,
yes,
there was, youths cried of faults, especially in ODM, whereby they had paid for the money and everything, nomination fees, and at the long run, the certificate was being handed over to a specific person. And now, to be specific, they were saying it was being influenced from one family, whereby the first lady of the family decides who to take the tickets, especially for National Assembly level.
You see, those are hearsays. I can't verify, hearsays. But what I will say, it is very wrong. That is what led to what we call the average age of our leaders in Luo Nyanza, specifically Noma Bay, being averagely 60 years and above. Because MPs were given direct tickets. And the direct tickets even also affected the turnout, the voter turnout. Because when you don't allow people to go for nomination, maybe I'm supporting person X and the other guy is supporting person Y. If they don't go for nomination and see that my candidate has been defeated fairly in the nomination, then this person will not see the need of turning up to vote in the general election.
Yes.
So that is one factor that I would urge the political parties to look into going forward, that let us have nominations. Let us have free and fair nominations. Let whoever candidate wins, because you see, like in my constituency, where I come from, Kabondo Kasipul, there is no Kalenjin who will come from Elgeyo Marakwet to come and run for MP in my constituency.
Yeah.
All the aspirants will be from Kabondo Kasipul.
Yeah.
And therefore, allowing them to undergo the process of nomination is not a crime. Let people be subjected to nomination. Let the best candidate win, the popular candidate win, and that will motivate people, supporters, to turn out on the general election and vote for whoever candidate had won the nomination, rather than give the direct tickets to known candidates who most of them are also incompetent. And by the way, I will tell you that I am not of the idea that a leader, should serve in one position for more than 2 terms. What is it that you cannot do within 10 years? You are
talking about the introduction of term limits to the National Assembly.
I would prefer that. Because, for example, in my home county, Millie Odhiambo is now serving for the 4th term. And she's still saying that she's going to run for the election in 2027. For what? Going by age, going by everything. What is this that Millie Odhiambo could not do within 20 years of service in parliament that he now wants to go and do in 5 years? So let us be practical. Let us be honest. Leadership is not until death. Serve. Let us have a transition. Let us have a young person who comes and take over. And a good leader should know how to mentor another person to take over after her or after him. I expect that by now, Millie Odhiambo should be saying, yes, I've served enough. Let me nurture a young person who can now take over, and then that young person will also serve and nurture another person. The same should apply to my constituency, where my MP also has served 2 terms.
Yeah. Now, coming to bipartisan level now.
Yes.
From just being adherent to ODM, I will ask you about do you think the marriage between UDA and ODM is bearing a favorable fruit to Kenyans, all Kenyans? Or was it a mistake and a fumble made by Raila Odinga?
I would say, without fear of favor, that the decision made by Raila Odinga to support William Ruto after the Gen Z protest was one of the wisest decisions, going by the fact that I'm one person who have traveled across the continent, and I know what it means. I know what it means to have a ungoverned system of government. You look at Somalia. You look at you look at Egypt in South Sudan.
You people
at Sudan.
You are giving these examples, and people have been giving this example. But Kenyans are saying Raila made a mistake, and maybe he's coming to the end.
I'm a young person.
Yes.
And I'm a young person who reads history and understand where people are coming from and where people are going to. Raila did not make this decision because he wanted to make it. Raila made this decision because he realized that he is a voice of reason. He's been in politics enough. He's championed for certain changes in this country. And if the country goes to the dogs, then it means his entire life sacrifices, including the detentions, we're going to go as a waste. Because we were going to have a military rule that you never know when there will be a democratic election again in this country. Take example, Burkina Faso. When the military took over, Adama Traore said that, Ibrahim Traore said that he was going to do an election in 5 years. In the 4th year, he said that he's extending it again with another 2 years for him to constitute the IBC.
Yes, and this one also applied to Mali by Goita.
Yeah.
Yes.
Then after those 2 years, when he feels that the 2 years are going to come, then he comes up with another thing. So it means that you don't even know when you are going to come back with a system of an election where a president will be a civilian.
So it was safe for Raila Odinga.
So it was safe for the country, not for the Raila Odinga. Because I can tell you,
Raila Odinga's political mantra.
As a young person, Raila Odinga, the years that Raila Odinga is left with in this country are not as much as my years if it is by natural circumstances.
So just eat, yeah?
Yeah?
Just eat.
If he was to make a selfish decision, he could have said, yes, go to hell. Of course, I'm old. Let the country burn. I can run to Dubai and stay in Dubai. You see? And come back. But Raila was looking at the generation, the upcoming generation. Yes, they are agitating. Yes, they are making sense. But are we going to realize this, their sensible agitation, if we don't have a government, a democratically elected government in place? No. Because the moment you saw the army were now coming on the street, then you know what can happen. These army officers, who told you that these army officers are also not wanting to have one of their own as a president?
This is your presumption.
This is my presumption. Yeah, they were coming on the street, of course. You can remember the bill was taken to Parliament for approval so that they can be released to the street to help the police.
Now, what's the future of united opposition?
The future of the united opposition, number one, I would like an opposition that is ideological. But you see, Gachagua is a tribalist. He's talking nonsense, even in a foreign land. You see? Gachagua is somebody that everybody fears to identify with. Even within the united opposition, you can see Wakina Kalonzo are pulling away.
Yes.
Matiang'i doesn't want to identify truly with Gachagua because of his tribal, tribal outburst. You remember even one of his shows in Meet the People tour in US when the young Gen Z, burst him and said, you cannot tell us that, you want to unite the country, you want to be a national leader, and you come here and try talking vernacular in Kikuyu.
Let's take Gachagua out of the opposition matrix and remain with the rest. That is Kalonzo, Musyoka, Eugene Wamalwa, Muturi.
If Gachagua is out of the opposition matrix, yes, then now we can start talking.
There is power. There is organization. There is strength.
They have not organized until they remove Gachagua and then they organize themselves. Then now we can start talking. But as per now that they have Gachagua and everything, then we cannot talk about anything concerning at least we can have a discussion about Maraga.
Maraga?
Yeah, we can
Maraga
have a discussion
can be an option.
about Maraga.
Can be option.
If we wanted to reset this country, I can tell you without blinking an eye that the right candidate to reset this country is David Maraga.
What's your take on Raila Odinga's statement lately regarding BBG, that is broad-based government, and the 10 points agendas? Do you think it's already in conclusion that two-term for William Ruto is being backed by ODM?
When Raila spoke in that funeral,
yes,
I was present at the funeral.
Yes.
And it made sense. He said, give us time to implement this 10-point agenda. And I think by that time, that same very day, in the morning, earlier before that funeral service, the president had published the names of the people who are now going to oversee the compensation of the post-election protest victims.
Yes.
Backdating from 2017 to 2024, right? That was a step in the right direction. There is no any other bold president that has ever come out and say, we need to compensate these people. We need to give these people some money so that they can also live a normal life. Because when a bullet hits, there are a lot of people who are living with bullet wounds, who are disabled. These people cannot do their normal, daily work the way they used to do it. And it was caused by the police through their bullets. And the government is saying, we are going to compensate you so that at least you can start a business, you can find something to do. Your life must continue.
Yes.
I think that was a good precedence. Then Raila now was coming out later that day and say, give us time to implement this 10-point agenda. And then when we are done by 2027, let us now come to the public. Let us talk to the public and let's see who the public will believe. Tutaona nani wananchi wataamini. I think he's said that word in Swahili.
So tuta mna back.
Yeah?
They are backing
No,
tuta.
he's not saying, he didn't say tuta.
But from far end.
No. I can tell you for a fact that nothing stops William Ruto from supporting Raila Odinga for presidency.
For 2027.
Nothing stops William Ruto from supporting Raila Odinga in 2027 for presidency.
Do you think William Ruto can
And
go for 5 years?
And nothing stops Raila Odinga from supporting William Ruto for president in 2027. So long as the direction that they are taking makes sense, and whatever we have been asking the government to do, they are doing. Like right now, we are saying, let the education be affordable at the university. At least we saw some kind of, efforts that they reduce the university fee. But we can agitate further to ensure that the university fee is much more reduced again. We can achieve that by next year. We are talking about secondary education that we in Azimio believe that it was going to be free. The government came the other day and said, look at this. And people misunderstood John Mbadi. The government came the other day and said, John Mbadi said, as the Minister for Finance, he said, guys, we have been saying that we are releasing 22,000 shillings per student in every school. But since time immemorial, according to the records at the Ministry of Finance, I'm seeing that the government has been able to be paying 16,500 shillings per student every year. Then it means we are lying, because that is why the schools have pending bills. Then people misunderstood Badi and they say, no, Badi want to reduce the... No, Badi was saying, this is what the government has been paying. And that is why most schools are unable to run, because you can imagine if the public knows that you are receiving 22,000 and in real sense, the money that is coming to you is 16,000, then you can see the deficit per student. Then you calculate by the number of students in your school, you can now see the problem. Yeah. Then now, when people discuss that, then they say, we are going to find money. We are going to ensure that these monies are available to support education. But look at it. Look at this. You see for the first time,
Yes.
the Ministry of Finance have been able to release all the pending arrears for county governments and even the NGCDF monies to the constituencies at the closure of a financial year. That is a step in the right direction. It was never happening before. People used to cross over. The Ministry of Finance used to cross over with the arrears to the next financial year. And then how do you recover this? This time around, even at the devolution conference yesterday, you can see that counties have received their monies for July. Something that never used to happen before. If you ask the MCs...
So you're saying BBG, so what I'm because of broad-based government.
What I'm trying to say, there are positives. As much as I like positive criticism. I always like informative criticism. Like when I was telling you here that we need to get young people elected to political seats.
Yes.
And I gave you an example of Luo Nyanza, where I come from, Homa Bay, where the average age of MPs and above is 60 years.
Yeah.
It is something that when you go confirm, it is true. I like criticizing with facts. Yes, the broad-based government is not working to the optimal, but at least we are seeing certain steps towards the right direction.
Except for corruption.
Corruption, the president has ascended onto the bill the other day. And
is the bill going to save Kenyans' interest regarding corruption?
I can tell you how it's going to save Kenyans.
There have been bills,
I
right?
can tell you how it's going to save Kenyans regarding corruption. Number one, you see, when you give You see, county assemblies, which is the primary oversight body of governance or executive arm of devolved units. These county assemblies have been working at the mercy of governors because they did not have financial autonomy. Their monies were not coming from the exchequer direct to the county assembly.
Yes.
It was going through the executive, and they had to play ball to the executive, which is the governor, for them to get their salaries and allowances. Now, there's a bill that the president signed there yesterday that now county assemblies are able to receive their money directly from the exchequer. What does this mean? It means that the county assembly can disagree with the governor and still function. And they can do their oversight role without fear or favor or intimidation. That is a step in the right direction. The only thing now we need to talk about is, do we need to add these MCAs a little bit of salaries?
Now, coming to conclusion, because you've talked about the roles that is being played by the members of county assemblies and the governors, and how governors are also rattling with the members of county assembly. Now, the question is on Raila's statement. The finalizing question is when Raila Odinga said the Senate is overdoing their job, calling out the governors, and there is where corruption happens a lot at the Senate or at the National Assembly. Now, my question is, do you think the Senate is a useless position that should be done away with?
Senate is not useless because Senate determines or ensures the shareable revenue from national government to the county.
What if we take these roles to the National Assembly and the county assemblies?
You can't take those roles to the National Assembly because National Assembly are representatives of the people from the constituency level.
I've been giving examples of the federal governments and how they functions, especially the areas that have been divided into states.
No, they are governors, they are senators. They are governors and senators even in the United States.
Yes.
You see, the MP represents a constituency. The senator represents a county. So the roles of senators are outlined in the Constitution. And for you to change that, we have to go for a referendum.
Dango, yes.
Yes? To do that. I still maintain that yes, I think the former Prime Minister made those statements based on the corruption that even the President talked about the other day. The President also mentioned that members of Parliament are so corrupt that for them to write a report about a parastatal or for them to vet somebody, they demand bribes. That is a culture.
Wanasema mtoto kiliavyo ndivyo kwavyo.
Yes, that is true. But that is a culture that we must deal with. How do we deal with it? Is by getting, as a young people, because I know we are the majority, as a young people, let us come out, let us take our votes, let us take registered voters at this particular time that the IBC is going to have mass voter registration. For us, them who do not have voting cards, let us take these votes. Let us turn out in large numbers in 2027. Let us vote in competent young people who can represent us in different houses of parliament and who can be at the formulation table where policies and decisions are made. That is the way we can reshape and direct this
now
country.
Coming to conclusion, President William Ruto say I chose to take on this work because I have no excuse not to. I'm the right person for the task and I will not give anyone an excuse for delays. I will work until you will wish that I come back for another term, but the constitution will not allow me. Now Kenyans are asking because of the chorus or whatever they're saying about 2 term and 1 term. Do you think President William Ruto is the best president that Kenya is having?
We are yet to judge. We can judge that by
and up to now.
He's doing fairly well.
Do you think 1 term for him is inevitable?
I don't see somebody, like just I've said, the person who can rival William Ruto at the moment is the former Chief Justice, David Maraga. And the only undoing thing that those guys are doing to him is that they're not telling him that for you to run for this seat, you need an organization and you need some finance.
I don't think you're sure on Maraga because you said if we take Gachagua out of the matrix and remains with Kalonzo and the rest,
yes,
then opposition is strong.
Opposition are strong, but among them, they're still old guys. They have been in this. Kalonzo has been a former vice president. Matiang'i is a stooge of Uhuru Kenyatta. Matiang'i does not even stand for himself, does not even know what he wants. He's being pushed by Uhuru Kenyatta to come and represent the family businesses, family interests.
I don't know.
Yeah, but I'm
We're not
telling
sure
you,
about that.
I'm sure.
But also,
because
this is
let
the
me tell
person
you,
that
and
is
that is
promising.
why, that's why
that is the
sometimes I
person-
tell you. That is why sometimes I tell you.
Yeah.
Let us be fair, even when we are judging. Uhuru Kenyatta was given a position to give some list when now after the Gen Z demonstration to give out some list of cabinet secretaries to be appointed in the Ruto's government. He gave all Kikuyus. And who did he give? Mutahi Kagwe to agriculture. Why was Uhuru's interest in agriculture? Because he does farming, dairy KICC, everything. Uhuru does
Man,
here.
you people are sure of this?
I'm telling you, I'm sure. You
Okay,
can
I'm
come and
relaxed.
question.
I'm
Number
relaxed.
2, look at business, investment and trade. Lik Nyanjui. That is a Kikuyu. When Raila was presented with the same 5 positions, Raila gave to a Coast, which is Joe. Raila gave to a Luya, which is Oparanya. Raila gave it to Badi. Do you know even Badi is not a Luo? Badi is a Suba. Suba is a Bantu.
Nice.
You
I
see?
think we'll have another
Yes,
session with you.
Suba is
Thank
a
you.
Bantu.
Thank you
So,
very much for joining us. Coming to conclusion of this episode.
I know because you are uncomfortable with this.
No, I'm not
but
comfortable.
Thank you.
I mean, I'm not comfortable with whatever you're saying.
Yes, you are
I'm very
uncomfortable.
uncomfortable. You know why? We are tribeless, faceless, and whatever happens. And of course, Nikorada. But you cannot know where my radar is. This is Real Talk Republic podcast. I was joined by political analyst Jacob Omondi and also aspirant for Kasipul Kabondo,
Thank you.
2027 elections. You've heard about the expenses on politics, especially to youths who are aspiring. Morara Kibaso, tafadhali mjaze tank. This is Arego all the way from Kiafrika studio. Till next time, Dango.